Alright, let's do this one last time. My name is Himothy Jawclamps, and I've dedicated the last year of my life to drawing hundreds, if not thousands, of monkeys. Why? Because there's something fundamentally wrong with my brain. So before we actually get started with the tutorial, I thought we could look at my very first monkey drawing. And as you can see, it's a lot different from how I draw them now. I think that just has to do with, over time you sort of develop your style, and if you look at this time lapse, you can tell that I really didn't know what I was doing. I was just experimenting. This is very painterly, like we're watching Bob Ross or something. Maybe I should do more art like this. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see me do more like painting style art like this, and maybe something like a little more polygonal like my old style. Okay, let's get started with the head shape. It's just like Jeff's head shape, just a little bit more stout. It's a hexagon. I think it's a hexagon. I made some lines to represent that here in a second. I'll show you, but you're gonna want to use your liquify tool. Like I always say, the liquify tool, it'll save you so much time and effort trying to just draw the perfect lines. But here I put these dotted lines here to represent the shape, and you can see the top is a little bit wider and pointier, and the bottom is a little bit skinnier and flatter. So that's just something to remember. I'm gonna get rid of these lines, and we'll do the rest here. Now that we got our head shape, we're gonna draw the eyes, and the eyes are kind of egg-shaped. I've said that in the past. They're not a perfect circle, they're not a perfect oval, they're kind of egg-shaped, and you only have to draw one, and then you can just duplicate it and flip it. Same goes with the pupil, except you don't have to flip it when you duplicate it, and you just move it over. Ta-da, you got the eyes. Very simple, very easy. I don't use any like guidelines or anything. This is not an anime drawing tutorial. This is Monke. Monke is simple. And so the nose, I've said in the past it's a V shape, but it's more like a split in half heart, and the mouth is obviously a W. It's always a W. It will never be anything but a W unless he's sad, and then it's an M. The face kind of sits closer to the bottom of the head, and then we can just draw this face outline, which just, trace the face, go around all the features, and you sort of draw this funny shape, and you can do the duplicate and flip thing. Make things very easy on yourself. I mean, look how quick this is going. We're so good at this. All right, now we're gonna clean this up a little bit. I'm gonna use my liquify to put all the things in the right place, and then I'm gonna draw the ears. Ta-da! And we're done with the head. Beautiful. Actually, never mind, we're not done with the head because it's not cute enough. So I added these little chubby cheeks. I thought the face was a little bit plain, so I added a little something to give it a little more character. Anyways, what are your guys' favorite monkeys? I would have to say my favorite monkey is either Lanky Kong or Curious George. I can't decide. Oh, you thought drawing the head was easy. Well, now we're gonna do the rest of the body, which is very easy. So we just do this little curved shape. I just flip it like I always do, and that's the stomach right there. That's pretty much it. And then we're gonna do the arms here, which is basically just one curved line, and then it reaches around to the bottom of the tummy there. And there is one hard part, and that's the hands. I just recommend practicing drawing hands. As you can see, I struggle I struggle with speaking, but I also struggle with drawing hands. So I threw out the first hand that I drew, and I decided to draw it a second time because I think it looked better just pointing forward a little bit more, I guess. To be honest, I don't know if these hands really look any better than the first one that I did, but it's alright, They got 2 fingers and a thumb. It's not realistic, It doesn't have to look that great. Alright, stop judging my hands. And then obviously we do the good old duplicate and flip so we can be lazy artists. And then we draw the belly. I don't know how else to explain the belly. You can see the shape that it is. It's a shape. Alright, and that's pretty much it. Let's do the line art. Anyways, I'm not going to explain line art in this video. If you want to know how to do line art, watch my Jeff tutorial. That'll be in the description below. And while you're down there, why don't you like the video and leave a comment and subscribe? That would be super nice of you. I didn't have much else to say in this part of the video, so I had my unpaid intern Jerry print off some Monke facts to read to stimulate your brain a little bit while you're drawing a monkey. So the first Monke fact says, in 1992, Monke was in a shoe. That can't be right. Here, let me read another one. In 1993, Monke was in a tree. I believe that. That seems pretty reasonable. Anyways, I'm done with the line art, so the next step is to color, and it doesn't matter what colors you use. Just do the face, ears, and belly on one layer, and then the rest of the colors on another. Also, on a separate layer, color the eyes in white. And now for the part a lot of people have been waiting for, the texture. I'm going to show you how I make textures. This is the only way I've done it, the only way I know how to. I usually pick brown, and then I slide that brown a little more yellow and a little lighter, and I pick the dry brush, and I start going over it with the dry brush like this. And you can mess around with the opacity and the size. You want it to look a little scratchy, so just keep working on it until it looks decent enough, and then we're going to add a new layer, make it more red and darker, and start laying that over the top of the lighter yellow layer. And the point of the red and the yellow is, you know, they kind of contrast each other, they kind of mix in to each other to sort of become the base color, if that makes sense. That's the whole point of a texture. It's so you're not just using a flat color. It just makes things look really nice, and once you draw this texture, you can just use it over and over on every drawing of a monkey that you ever do. So I'm now done with this fur texture, so I merge it all together and I duplicate it, and here with the hue and the brightness, you can just change it to whatever you want. You know, it was brown, but now I can make it purple, I can make it light purple. It doesn't matter if it's too dark. You can play around with the contrast or the brightness or the curves. It's versatile. You can just keep reusing it for any color. And here is the gray part, which you'll never have to change the hue of this. Occasionally you might have to change the brightness and contrast for different fur colors just so it looks better, but it's basically the same thing as what I just showed you with the basic fur, except it's just gray and a little bit blue. Bada bing, bada boom, we're done with the textures, and we just move them over to our colored layers and clipping mask them into said layers, like that. That's how you get the sort of chowder green screen texture effect, so you can move it around. Your monkey can be in any position, and the texture will always cover him. I think at this point I was just messing around. Couldn't really decide what color to make this monkey, and I think I landed on green. I don't really make that many green monkeys, so I think that's why I did it. Well, anyways, in 1994, Monke was on the floor. You know, I think I remember reading about that. That was pretty sad. So it's actually been a couple days since I recorded this footage, and I don't know why, but I just ended up turning the monkey back into a brown monkey. So it went from brown to purple to green, and then back to brown again. I don't know why I did that, but I also just went into another artwork and just copied the background to import it because I didn't feel like drawing a background, and I probably could have picked a better one because I really had to stretch this one out. But here's a little tip: if you're gonna stretch out a background like I'm doing here, just add more blur to it because it's already gonna be blurry. Just blur the crap out of it. Nobody's gonna question, especially if you put a nice little shadow underneath like this. It looks all right. I mean, if I would have just drawn a background, it would look better, but it's not too bad. And at this point, I decided to do a little shading. I don't do shading all that often because I'm so used to animating, and to add shading into animation is just so much work because you have to account for every frame, and whenever a character moves, all the shadows change, and so I'm very used to just drawing flat monkeys, but it's nice to take my time with a single image rather than dozens of frames and just focus on the shading and make it look really nice. You can follow what I'm doing here as well, but I'm never gonna teach you guys shading and simple art tips such as that. There's dozens, if not hundreds of tutorials that you can find that will teach you basic shading and like other things. I will teach you all the monkey related stuff. I've been thinking about doing some map drawing tutorials, like how to draw forest or how to draw mountains or how to draw canyons. That way you can make better backgrounds if you guys want to make animations or something. But that pretty much does it. If you guys want to share your monkeys with me, join my Discord. That's discord.gg/jawclamps. I would love to see what you guys can do after watching this tutorial. Have a wonderful day. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye bye.